With respect to you, Sister Mehroz, you sound like you just finished smoking a spliff. Mehroz, salam alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Yes, sister, what you got for us?
I actually want to speak from the female perspective, if that's all right with you.
Yes, bismillah, tfaddali.
So I've seen your interview on the. By the way, sorry. First of all, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
So I saw your interview with Gabriel Romani on the Three Muslims. So my perspective is, I haven't gone through all of your content, but there was a lot of things that Brother Gabriel, he kind of had a lot of issues with your content. So, my perspective is a bit skewed, and but I mean, I listened to your stream a little bit today, and you seem a little bit more fair-minded, and I just want to talk about the female experience, because I would say I am someone who is kind of around the 30-year mark.
Mehroz, what's your question? What's the question?
Oh, I just said I want to speak from the female perspective.
Okay, go for it. So specifically what exactly?
I was just about to say that I am someone who's from so I've actually been recently divorced. I have
How old are you, Mehroz?
29.
29. Do you have any kids?
Yeah, I have a son.
A son. Okay. Yes, bismillah, tfaddali, carry on.
Yeah, so I mean, as somebody who was recently divorced, a lot of the things that you said did hurt. It was and all I can say is that, of course, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he wasn't a feminist, but I don't think that he would be so disrespectful towards women the way.
Okay. Disrespectful. So you found some of my stuff to be disrespectful. Am I correct in saying that?
I mean, it just seemed really.
You can say yes. It's absolutely fine.
It just seemed really harsh. And I'm just saying, just from the.
That's fine. That's fine. So give me an example of something that you found to be harsh. Something that I said that you found to be harsh or disrespectful.
I mean, it's just the way that Okay, so I actually did view one of your videos where you're talking about women as depreciating assets.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's very easy to kind of generalize things, but again, Allah knows, right? We as human beings, we only see part of people's life and experiences, and it's so easy to generalize and make these concepts.
So what was the problem with the depreciating assets part? You mentioned that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't agree with that, because the thing is, yeah, I can understand where you're coming from in regards to what
do you disagree with precisely?
So the points that you made, right, were that as females are depreciating assets because men are solely interested in their reproductive.
Not solely, but there is a great importance or emphasis placed upon that, particularly for a man who has not been married before and or had children before, which is most men who are on the marriage market in the first place. And let me be clear with that. Most married men are not looking to get into polygyny. Polygyny is for a tiny percentage of men, right? So most married men, we don't talk about them. But most men who've never been married before and who want to get married, they are going to prioritize that as a matter of importance. Why? Because he wants to extend his progeny. So what's the problem with that, sister?
No, I'm just saying that. So right now, I'm just saying that, you asked me. So I was saying that, I've only had what I find to be an issue is just, it is a little bit hurtful for, the way, this problem wasn't created by the Muslim ummah, right? We have to be appreciative of the fact that a lot of us as a Muslim ummah, we've been through many traumas right? When you think about,
Mahros, I need you to focus. I need you to focus. What's hurtful? You said it was hurtful. What was hurtful?
I mean, okay, so I can agree with a lot of the points that you guys are making as men, right? From like the men's perspective of how it's so difficult to get married. But I want to say at the same time that for women, it's also very difficult to get married, um, and like, and I think that
Do
we
you,
can come to.
do you fundamentally agree with what I'm saying, but you just don't like the way I delivered it? Is that what you're saying?
So, okay, I will say two things. The language that you use is not really helping, and then the second thing I would say is that some of the concepts that you touch upon, I don't agree with because I don't think it's even from
Okay, good, good, good.
Sunnah.
I want to focus on that. Tamam, Mahroz, you said that the concepts that I touch upon, you don't agree with. So
Yeah,
please give
and
me an
one of
example.
the things that I'm aware of is like the point that you talked about women as being depreciating assets,
Okay,
right?
what's the problem with that?
I mean, I can argue that men are also depreciating assets.
Okay, explain to me how. I can explain to you how women are depreciating assets. And
Yeah,
by the
I
way,
actually did hear that point that you
this
made.
applies to the single sisters. If you're married, none of this conversation applies to you anymore. You're off the market. Okay, we are talking about brothers and sisters on the market. I can explain, as I have done in the past, how sisters are depreciating assets as they age. Why? Because those things that
But
men.
I'm not here to argue with you.
No, it's not an
I'm
argument. Just let me
yeah.
finish. Because I'm going to explain my position and then I will allow you to explain your position. Because those things that men value as a priority depreciate with age or diminish with age, I should say. Right? Therefore, what makes her most desirable or desirable period is diminishing. Therefore, she is depreciating. Understood? So you mentioned now that men are also depreciating assets. Please explain that to me. What makes you say that?
Okay, so I didn't want to get into this. I really just wanted to talk about, you know, my experience as because like the brother had a chance to kind of talk about, his experience, and I think it would be really
We will get to your
helpful.
experience. We will get to your
Okay,
experience, Maharos.
all
But
right,
before we get to
sure.
your experience, you've made a point, and your point was
Mhm.
you believe that brothers are also depreciating assets. So I would like you to please explain what makes you say that. That's fine; it's your opinion. But I would like to understand how you have come to that conclusion.
Um, you know, uh, in the sense that, okay, so you've mentioned from what I can recall that, um, you know, like women are depreciating assets because, again, like, I mean, from my understanding is that, honestly, because if you're gonna speak from like, a scientific point of view, right? Like, it's always gonna come down to the reproductive, like, so you mentioned agreeableness, reproduction, right? And then the brother even mentioned, before me, I forgot his name. I'm sorry. That what?
We're waiting for your answer, Sister Maharos. You mentioned that men are also depreciating assets. Please explain to us how that is.
Okay, so you just want me to give you the reasons for that?
Just for now, and then we can move on to the next point.
Well, I wasn't prepared to really go
Okay, then.
into
Okay. But Rahas, look, if you're going to make a claim, if I make a claim, I'm going to explain it, and I will be expected to explain it, as I have been in many of my debates in the past. If you're going to make a claim, that's fine. I respect that, but I do expect you to explain it. If you can't explain it, it means that you're saying it just for the sake of saying it.
Well, I mean, I kind of specified in like the beginning that I was here simply to, talk about the women's perspective because that would also help you and men to actually, you know, get partners, right?
So,
Like,
am I correct in saying then that you're unable to explain why you believe men are depreciating assets?
no, I mean, I wasn't here to make that claim, like, again, I
But
said,
you did. But you made it. So can you? Okay, we can move on from this. And
I don't remember.
Am I correct in saying you can't explain that?
No, I wasn't. I'm not prepared for like a debate here. That's not why I'm here.
Okay, so you can't explain why men are depreciating assets.
Look, I was saying that I'm not quite sure because I mean I don't have. Okay, so
never mind.
I was simply
next point, Mehros. What's your next point?
Again, I'm not here to make points. I'm here, like I said, like I wanted to talk about my experience as somebody, like who's a female, who's kind of
okay,
going.
All right. We can talk about your experience.
What I'm trying to say is that, like, men are not the only people going through issues.
Mehros, hold on a second. We're going to talk about your experience, okay? But now I'm going to have to check you. And that is, you made a claim, you made a statement, but then when asked to explain why you believe that statement is the way it is, you've been unable to explain it. So we're going to put that statement to bed now and then move on to your next point, which is you want to talk about... I'm
not here to make
What's your experience, Mehros? What's your experience?
Okay. So again, I'm not here to make a point. So I would really appreciate it if you, didn't keep on, just repeating that. But
what's your experience that you would like to talk about, Mehros?
I mean, I can relate to the brother's experience from my side as well. That as a female, rejection is also, it's not something that just that's experienced from the male perspective. And that I can agree that, I think in the Muslim Ummah,
How long have you been single for now? You mentioned you got divorced. How long have you been single for?
I mean, it's a bit of a complicated, I can't really question.
Is it months or years?
I don't want to get into my personal life right now.
Nobody knows you, sister. You're blank. Nobody will ever know who you are. It's just for this purpose of me understanding your situation, because you mentioned you're going through rejection. So have you been rejected? Have you experienced rejection for a period of months or years?
Okay, so my kind of
months or years. Months or years.
Okay, so I mean, can I just talk?
No, you can't just talk. We do need to have a constructive conversation here. So is it months or years?
Okay, I'm kind of getting the idea that some people really want me to talk about how I said men are depreciating assets.
Sister, I'm going to ask you one more time.
Yeah.
Is it months that you have experienced rejection or years?
I mean, my experience with rejection is a little bit different because, of course, I'm a female.
Okay. All right. Listen, guys, ladies in particular, if you're going to come onto the stream, I do expect you to participate in a discussion. Part of a discussion is having questions backwards and forwards. I am running a stream. Part of that stream requires me to be vigilant or conscious of the quality of the stream for the viewers. With respect to you, Sister Mehroz, you sound like you just finished smoking a spliff.